Did you know that every time you over-explain or beg for someone's attention, you're literally giving your power away? Think about it. Each time you chase, you are communicating that your own value is less than their validation. The ancient Stoics knew this over 2,000 years ago. Your silence, when used correctly, is the most lethal and effective form of self-respect. It's not about being passive or weak. It's about reclaiming the control you've been handing over to others. In a world that never stops talking, the one who knows when to be quiet holds the ultimate advantage. Today, we're going to explore how to stop chasing, stop begging, and stop explaining, and how to turn your silence into your greatest superpower. So, picture this scenario. Someone you care about suddenly starts ignoring you. The calls go unanswered, the texts are left on read. What's your first instinct? If you're like most people, you probably panic. You call again, then maybe again. You craft long, elaborate text messages, pouring your heart out, trying to understand what went wrong. You write paragraphs explaining your feelings, justifying your actions, pleading for a response. You think you're being proactive, that you're fighting for the connection, but let's be brutally honest here. That's not courage. That's weakness pretending to be strength. Every unanswered call, every unread paragraph you send, chips away at your dignity. You're essentially begging them to see your worth, which is the fastest way to convince them you have none. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus said, "We cannot choose our external circumstances, but we can always choose how we respond to them." When you react with desperation, you are letting their actions dictate your emotional state. You are handing them the keys to your peace of mind. The real strength, the truly brave response, is to do nothing. To stop, to pull back, to recognize that their silence is an answer in itself, and your frantic attempts to break it only make you look powerless. This is where we reframe what silence truly means. We're taught to see silence as an awkward void, an emptiness that needs to be filled. But that's a misunderstanding. Intentional silence isn't emptiness, it's discipline. It's a profound act of self-respect. When you choose not to react to being ignored, when you refuse to engage in the drama, you're not being passive. You are making a powerful, conscious choice. You are saying, "My inner peace is more important than your attention. My dignity is not up for negotiation." Think about the power dynamic. The person ignoring you expects a reaction. They anticipate the flood of texts, the desperate calls. That reaction feeds their ego and validates their control over your emotions. But when you don't react, when you just go silent, they lose the control they thought they had over you. Suddenly, the game has changed. You are no longer the puppet on their strings. Your silence creates a vacuum where their power used to be. It forces them to confront their own actions without the distraction of your emotional outburst. They are left alone with the echo of their own behavior, and that is far more unsettling for them than any angry words you could ever say. Your silence communicates that you are in control of yourself, and that is the one thing they can't take from you. Here's a paradox that will completely change how you interact with people. The more you talk, the less they listen. Especially when you're trying to prove a point or defend yourself. The more you explain, the more you justify, the more your words lose their weight. They become noise, a desperate buzz that people learn to tune out. It's like you're shouting into a hurricane. Your voice just gets lost in the chaos, but when you go silent, your absence makes more noise than any words ever could. It's a deafening silence. When you suddenly stop chasing, stop texting, stop demanding answers, your absence becomes a presence. They notice. They wonder, why haven't they called? Why aren't they begging for my attention anymore? Your silence forces them to think. It shifts the focus from your reaction back to their action. They can argue with your words. They can dismiss your explanations, but they cannot argue with your absence. Your silence speaks a language that is universally understood. It says, I am moving on. I am choosing myself. My world does not revolve around you, and that message, delivered without a single word, is infinitely more powerful and memorable than 1,000 well-rehearsed sentences. Many of us get stuck in this loop of chasing because we're desperately seeking closure. We believe we need that final conversation, that one explanation that will make everything make sense. We think closure is something they have to give us. We think if we just explain our side one more time, they'll finally understand and we can be at peace. But this is one of the greatest lies we tell ourselves. Closure isn't something they give you. It's something you give yourself. The moment you stop explaining, the moment you stop begging for them to see your perspective, that is the moment you find your closure. True closure comes from accepting the situation for what it is, not for what you wish it were. It comes from reclaiming your narrative. By going silent, you are taking back the pen. You are deciding that the story doesn't need their final chapter to be complete. You are writing the ending yourself. And the ending is this: you chose your dignity. You chose your peace. You chose to walk away from a situation that was costing you your self-respect. That is the most empowering form of closure you will ever experience. It doesn't depend on anyone else's permission or understanding. It comes from within. As we approach the end of this journey, I want you to hold on to this fundamental truth. People can and will dismiss your words. They can twist your explanations, argue with your logic, and ignore your pleas. Words are easy to deflect, but they can't dismiss your silence. They can't argue with your absence. Your silence is a solid, unshakable boundary. It is a statement of fact, not an opinion open for debate. It says, this far and no further. When you stop engaging, you remove yourself from the game. And that's where your real power begins. It begins in the quiet moment you decide your energy is too valuable to waste on someone who doesn't appreciate it. It begins when you realize that your presence is a gift, and it's a gift you can choose to take back. Your silence isn't a punishment for them. It's a reward for yourself. It's the space you create to heal, to grow, and to remember who you are without their validation. It's the foundation upon which you rebuild your strength on your own terms. So, as you move forward, I want you to always remember this. Your silence is your final word, and it's the most powerful one of all. It's the ultimate expression of self-control and dignity. Don't chase validation. Don't beg for attention. Don't explain yourself into exhaustion. Learn the art of strategic silence. Let your absence speak volumes. Let them wonder. Let your peace be your priority. Because the person who has mastered their own silence has mastered themselves. Thank you for joining me on this journey into the heart of Stoic wisdom. If this message resonated with you, please consider liking this video and subscribing to the channel for more insights on building inner strength and living a more powerful life. Your support means the world. Until next time, stay strong and stay silent.